19 years ago this month, the WWF debuted the nWo, the New World Order, on TV. Vince McMahon was unhappy that Ric Flair was the co-owner, so he was going to
Yeah.
inject a lethal dose of poison into the WWF, which was Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. They debuted at No Way Out 2002. And I thought it'd be interesting to bring it up to talk about what you remembered at the time covering it, but also kind of when you look at it, it's quite strange because we have the invasion, which is a big disappointment without the names that people wanted. And then you've got
Yeah.
the NWO with the prime three guys that you want, and the main angle only lasts 4 weeks. So what do you remember at the time covering it, and why do you think it just, like, what did they do that made it not work?
Um, I mean, really, you've got to really point to the Hogan face turn at WrestleMania, and okay, it gave us one of the most memorable moments or events. I mean, in a sense, it wasn't a memorable match. It was more of an occasion, wasn't it? The heel turn. You'll be in the Hogan Rock match at WrestleMania 18, and that there really scuppered the whole thing, just torpedoed it. And it was just like, right, well, the NWO is now sunk because Hogan has already turned babyface. And that was the moment. And I know there were problems with Scott Hall from the start. I believe he upset a lot of people backstage on his very first night back. But I mean, that was something that only the people in the business knew about and some fans. So, I mean, he could have overcome that. But I mean, there was a lot of concerns about Hall's behavior because he was, he came in with a checkered track record from his time in WCW, as people know. And he was supposed to be joining WWF in 2002, with a new attitude. He wasn't drinking anymore. He was coming in there to work and be a team player. And then the first night, he basically balls that up by telling people, I think with the Dudleys, I think he said to them, "I'm looking forward to kicking out of your finishing move." That was one of the first things he said to him. I mean, that's no way to ingratiate yourself to a hostile locker room. I mean, we know Steve Austin was opposed to the signing of these guys because he thought they were going to be a negative influence and that they were going to stir up trouble. And he was right about that. And this was beginning the problems between Austin and Vince and WWF and Jim Ross. That story's been told numerous times. So, but yeah, to answer your question, Kenny, it was the Hogan face turn at WrestleMania 18. What was that, 4 weeks after they'd arrived?
Yeah.
And like, well, it's over now. How can the NWO continue as this super heel group when the biggest star of the three has just done this unexpected face turn in this bizarre match with The Rock, where The Rock's been outsmarted and outmaneuvered and outgunned and, outfoxed by the master of crowd control. And after that, to me, it was a slippery slope from there. I never understood why they did it so soon. I never understood that. Have you got any ideas why Hogan did that turn so soon after he arrived? Because, when the NWO came in for the No Way Out pay-per-view, that show did a really good number on pay-per-view. So there was a lot of interest in these three guys, a lot of interest in this act. The story with Vince saying that he was going to inject a lethal dose of poison never made any sense to me, but you know what? People dismissed that. They were able to overlook that because finally Hogan, Nash, and Hall were here as the NWO. As you said, people wanted these guys to be a part of the invasion the previous year. They were not, because Vince did not want to buy them out of their WCW contracts.
I mean, I think Hogan did it because it was going to be better for Hogan to be a babyface. But I mean, what I was going to ask you was, do you remember your reaction when you found out Hogan had re-signed, and did you have any inclination that, people are probably going to want to cheer this guy because he's not been here in 9 years?
Yeah, well, there was that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think they signed late December. That was when the news leaked out, and they were seen leaving Titan Towers in a limousine with Triple H, who from the start was trying to keep these guys on side. And obviously knew Nash and Hall from the old days in the Click. So I guess that was not unexpected.